Hello everybody and welcome back to the Anne of Green Gables anime. Today we're doing episode 21, The New Minister's Wife.
What is this, an Adam Sandler movie now?
Both this and the next episode are an adaptation of chapter 21 of the book, A New Departure in Flavorings. Now, if those of you who may have paid attention to the last episode's commentary... Wait, Pedro, I thought you said the last episode was like only the couple paragraphs of chapter 20. Don't worry, I'll explain in a moment. For now, let's just start this. Okay, so 3, 2, 1... click. Okay, so basically, yes. Here's what happens in chapter 20. Of course, we have that entire thing with Anne's anniversary of coming to Green Gables and everything. Mm-hmm. However, that's just the first couple of paragraphs of chapter 20 of the book. After that, the book kind of goes on a weird tangent about Anne being afraid of the quote-unquote haunted wood.
That kind of stuff. It's shockingly more common than you would think. How books in the old day would sort of go off on tangents. Sort of a reason. A reason for. Wait, I actually have a bit of trivia for why that is. See, back in the day, a lot of times these books would be sort of released in smaller novellas here and there, and essentially, the more words an author put in, the more they got paid for it. So, a lot of times, authors would purposely put in filler so they could make more money. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, so basically, it's a very weird... Basically, sure, it's the closest thing we ever got to a Halloween thing. And it's a closest. However, I can see why Takahata cut that out, because it's pointless and doesn't really add anything to anything really. So I can understand why Takahata decided to instead flesh out the whole anniversary of Green Gables more, because that's that's where the emotional depth is, rather than... Oh, hey Ruby, what happened?
Also, Jova, what you described is the philosophy of every student writing an essay.
I know, right? Well, T-Sherry, maybe if they didn't force the staff to fill a quota of pages when, we pretty much have already put in our main point, we wouldn't have to resort to these tactics,
also,
now would we?
I don't know. Oh, sorry.
This is actually one of the more interesting... There you go. Just because of the reaction they have to what's happening.
All right, the old teacher has to fuck off. So. Okay, one of those kids really sounded like Mona Marshall.
Which is interesting, because Mona Marshall isn't South African.
Yeah, so she can't be.
Maybe she flew over there just for this dub.
I doubt
it. So apparently the main reason the professor is leaving is just so he can follow after the girl he's simping after.
What a class, man. Okay, the thing about the wood that was mentioned before, I think it could just work, because considering how Anne essentially categorize and fantasize about all the locations, in the Green Gables, it feels only natural that she will have that kind of reaction to a place she might be more intimidated by.
Definitely. The problem is that unlike all the other stuff, it doesn't lead to any kind of growth on her part, and there's no lessons learned, there's nothing in particular that we learn that's new. It's just a very weird detour that doesn't lead to anything.
It's a big lead alligator moment. Okay.
I suppose, to be fair, we could have arguably have just made a nice fun episode of it still.
I guess. I mean, at the same time, I can understand why Takahata decided to instead focus strictly on where there was more emotional value in.
Sure. Oh no! Oh no.
The music seems to be getting ominous.
She's gonna kill her for the drag.
Is Jaws gonna come out from under the ground and eat the teacher before he leaves?
It's the land shark from Blue.
Alright, so here's the thing, and before you ask him, this is from the book as well. Turns out all the little girls from the Avonlea school are very, very sensitive too, because even though they don't like him, they all feel saddened by Mr. Phillips' departure. And Marilla herself will even point out how nonsensical this is, so don't worry.
That's just a Stockholm syndrome talking.
Jesus.
Do you have any other explanation for? Well, okay. Maybe it's a case of them fearing that the new teacher might be even worse. Like there's an old saying, better the devil you're familiar with than a new one.
Another saying, good riddance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that too.
That's Diana's reaction, Dibs.
What's wrong, Anne? Are you allergic to BS? But I can see the future. In the future, we'll have cars, planes, amusement parks, a weird streaming service. And I don't even know what a streaming service is, but I know that people will zoom around a lot.
Well, that's just ridiculous, Anne. What's the chance of that happen?
I'd say about the same chance of a new book being made of my life.
Yeesh.
Goodbye.
Well, goodbye.
No.
Oh no, I'm so sad that you're leaving, sir. It's just me, or does his voice sound kind of different from the first appearance?
You see, I must go and have voice correcting surgery. Seriously, it changed for no reason.
maybe he did that thing to us that you also did in some of our commentaries, where you even comment on how you change your character's accents at will.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe it was hard for the actor to keep up the accent. I don't know what to tell you.
Also, apparently they didn't soundproof the studio because his voice has a noticeable bathroomy kind of echo.
Yeah.
They are. Look at the building
Get
there.
over it.
Yeah, to be fair, I actually see Lewis's point. To be fair, it must make sense that this classroom would have a bit of echoey.
Well, I mean, with the windows being open, it should be more,
Seriously, why are you so upset that this guy's leaving?
They're happy to use.
And I love that his reaction generally is like that scene from one of the MST3K episodes. How dare you to be kind to me?
Also,
oh my god,
he
and
literally...
no, not you too.
Also, earlier he literally said, like...
I love how he wipes his tears even though he has none.
Well, don't you see, guys? Crying can be contagious.
And no.
I love Gilbert's smile.
Yeah, Gilbert knows where the shit is at.
And Gilbert's like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Okay. To be fair, Anne tends to be, very empathic. Also empathic on a lot of things. So even if she has, this complete opinion, she might actually do feel, the emotion.
And again, I can get some value of sentimentality here. Like, yeah, even if the guy's not been that great a professor, there have been memories made.
Yes, we absolutely need to see this again.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
do.
That's what she's talking about.
And we're filming. Oh, there you
go. Come on, Theo. Hannah's very distraught right now. Come on.
But
You'll want to talk.
Well, she did mention about herself, and then she talked about this other schoolgirl.
There you go.
Yeah, Mary's like, oh, I don't know.
Honestly, for Marilla, this is probably becoming the equivalent of afternoon television.
Yeah.
No, and you keep saying this word, and I don't think you know what it means.
It's what you mean the word romantic, Shiri?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Shiri, romantic can have multiple meanings.
She's applying it to very strange scenarios.
Yeah, I do agree with Shiri on this one.
I mean, next you'll be saying, it's so romantic that a student of mine got bit in the rear end by a dog.
Thank you for that shot of a cat.
Yes, we need it, Jova. Shut up.
Kitty.
They're used often enough as transitions on this show, it seems.
I think I can get what they're going at with this, in the sense where, even though they may not, Jesus, we get it.
You don't understand what you have until you use it.
No, Jova. This scene will lead into the brighter spot that comes after the storm. So
They know perfectly well what they had. But it's God. They had an annoying head case.
I think you're gonna like Marilla's reaction, though, Deuce.
Crawling in my skin. And
I'm honestly wondering what was Lucy's experience as an elementary school girl. Like,
oh, hold me! We have each other.
There you go. There you go, Marilla. There you go.
She's barely continuing.
Okay. Honestly, Anne, you've made Marilla laugh so much. I'm afraid you may legit make her break her laugh bomb.
You'll understand when you grow up, and don't worry.
I thought it was a very clever decision on Takada's part to make her, Marilla, the audience proxy, because her reactions are just priceless. Exactly.
Man, this place in Canada must be really hot in the country for the Prime Minister to pass by.
Well, okay. I'm not familiar with Canadian, but isn't like Prince Edward Island one of the more, important parts of Canada?
I don't know.
No. Canada's main guy is the Prime Minister.
No, I know. I get.
No,
I'm talking about regions.
Asking about the location specifically.
I get that, Wibbs.
Or maybe it was a thing visiting the country.
And there you go. The new minister's wife looks so pretty that it's exactly how she's always imagined Lady Cordelia to be. So there you go. Anne has officially found her first senpai.
Uh-huh.
So obviously, we need to make her notice us. Sure, of course. This is also another bit that I like. This chapter shows us the more emotional side of Marilla that she very rarely shows, because Marilla is always very sensible, reasonable, and not prone to stuff like this. But this is actually one of those rare occasions where she allows her feelings to get the hold of her.
Anyway, like I was saying, I think I do get what they were getting at with the girls crying that the professor was leaving. Like, there is, in a lot of cases, some value of sentimentality here. And don't get me wrong, the guy would have definitely been a jerk. But it wasn't like, okay, I'm not excusing his behavior, but he wasn't the worst thing ever. Not saying that he wasn't bad, he was. But I'd say, in some ways, he did. It's hard to explain, but sentiment.
I actually get what you mean. I actually get what you mean, Jova. I do.
I mean, I guess to be fair, even something that has been terrible to you, if it's been in your life long enough, does leave enough of an impact that you will start to feel emotions if it leaves your life, one way or another.
Also, he was Anne's first teacher, technically.
It's also a good point that you make, Joe, because again, this is all about portraying Anne's life in a way that's as real and believable as possible. So, of course, that's something that would be part of it.
Thank God they don't have photographs, so they'd be the next paparazzi.
Uh-oh. And
Invented the paparazzi.
Anne's got into her own dream world again.
Damn it.
Roger, what is up with these sudden cherry blossoms that have shown up all of a sudden?
We're in an anime.
What's an anime?
It's everything you wanted and not at the same time.
Anime was a mistake.
You know what? Yeah.
It's like alcohol, Shiro. It's the cause and solution to all problems.
Alright, so...
Wonderful.
Children that speak in unison, that's not creepy at all. Oh?
Yes, as opposed to any other lake with water in it.
Well, it's not like the Thames.
It's Thames.
Either way, dirty, dirty, dirty water. Seriously, London, get to cleaning that.
Please.
You know, this sounds like the opening to a horror film. Two girls offer to show you the way through the forest. Nothing sinister at all.
Oh, for a moment there, for a moment there.
Green Gables.
Oh, for a moment there, Joe, I thought you were gonna do a stranger danger joke.
What? Where you should be wary of little girls instead
No, the reverse. Them, these two adults with the little girls.
Oh, but they're politicians. We can trust them.
I'm not gonna touch that. Moving on. Oh, I love this one.
You seem very accepting of a children's ideas, a very big ideas.
Yeah, we're actually going to establish that about her. Mrs. Allen loves children, and she's going to be teaching Sunday school from now on, naturally. So.
So, yeah, and you may have been an influence on Canadian politics. Well done, well done.
Well, more like, well, to be fair, Avonlea, because okay, it's Minister Joe, but it's not like he's a minister at the church.
Oh. Ooh, yeah, the way you said it, it suggested he was the new Prime Minister of Canada.
I probably should have worded it better.
Sure.
I mean the minister of the Avonlea Church. That's what he is.
It also makes sense because much like the rest of North America, Canada is prominently Protestant. So yeah.
Not only that, but I kind of did find it a bit weird that the Prime Minister would show up.
Sure.
Not too long ago.
That's also what it was mentioning, Joe, the fact that, wow, Emily must be that popular for Prime Minister.
Sorry about that.
Nah, it's okay.
Oh well. This is most unorthodox.
So yeah, Marilla's going to go to Sunday school with Anne so she can get to meet the Allens.
Which the minister and the wife never made it. They were imposters.
I love how everybody in town is anxious to meet the new minister and his wife. Like, I can already imagine. Can you imagine, Mister? Hey, everybody, come see my wife. Look how hot she looks.
Yes.
You can't, but she's fine. You can't have her.
Oh, she's also good with the organ.
Well, she's on Sunday school, so she should be possible. I'm not an expert on the subject, but
okay. For experience, not personal, but from a friend who actually does play it a lot. An organ is a very difficult instrument to play. It's much more than say a traditional piano.
Sure.
Oh yeah, true. My dad has played organ, and he can tell you it's very, very challenging. Not only do you have to focus on multiple layers and platforms of keys, but you also have to work the foot pedals something fierce.
It's more very highly rewarding because if you can manage to master it, it's metal as fuck.
Oh yeah, pipe organs especially.
And look at that. Yeah. So yeah, Anne up until this point has never really cared much for Sunday school, but Mrs. Allen apparently makes it all the more interesting and romantic in comparison to the previous teacher.
It does.
So.
It's another thing it's another thing that does remind me a bit more also in the story of Pollyanna, where there's the priest in that story, at least from the movie that I remember, which starts as this very severe, cynical authority, almost like figure that tells you go to hell. Deal with it, dipshits. But
one thing that I also
he manages to get better. Sorry, go on.
One thing that I also appreciate when it comes from reading the book or watching this as a child is the educational value it also has, like because it does a good job in showing 19th century Canadian culture and that's how I learned a lot of stuff as a kid, like about specifically for example, some aspects of Catholic religion. The first exposure I got was from this and stuff like that.
Again, Pedro, but remember this is Protestant.
Okay. Wait. What religion is Morrill and Matthew from? Because
a Protestant. Remember, North America.
Well, whatever. The point is
basic stuff. Both Catholicism and Protestant derive from Christianity.
Sure. Yes, we should. Mrs. Allen is the bee's knees, Marilla.
And then Sunday school was cancelled.
I find that unlikely.
Isn't that like taboo or something in this time period?
Well,
okay.
Well, sometimes these things can happen.
Yeah, if there's something like.
And besides, and being happy for very long, as if.
Okay. Even back then, it wasn't like you were obligated to go to Sunday school. Like,
but
if you were feeling
won't judge you for it.
Let alone one that's a woman. Really?
Well, I get the idea she's gonna at least try.
Yeah, she'll try, but Anne not saying a word. It's pretty sus. And I promise I won't bend this one too.
Yeah, so join us for episode 22, Putting Out the Fire.
No, there will be no fire this time.
Dang.
This time.
This time.
Well, he was referencing the burnt pie, so that's what I was referencing.
What's instead gonna be next time?
Oh boy, the visit. Now we know this is going to be fun.
The plot twist is when Mary and Matthew are not who they seem to be.
So basically,
look at that! I called it. Something goes wrong.
So basically, everybody, in the next episode, Anne tries to make a very beautiful cake on her own so she can impress Mrs. Allen. So
I see nothing going wrong with this.
Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever.
I'm sure the fairies from Sleeping Beauty will empathize with you on that, girlie. Have fun with that.
So yeah, all right. So Terry, what do you go ahead and give your thoughts?
It's fine actually. Like I said, the melodrama that the little girls come through for the departure of the teacher gets mostly played also for laughs. But it's fine. And even Anne herself does a sort of a Captain Kirk style summation at the end about the fact that they had to do something to gain something better potentially. But again, we'll have to see how the new minister and his wife managed to, live up to their status, I guess. But no, again, it's still a pretty solid episode. Next.
Sure.
It was good. A lot of crying.
I have to ask Shira, do you think Lucy captured the elementary school girl experience?
No, I don't think I ever cried over a teacher leaving.
Well, okay. I was more talking about the being overrun with emotions that very quickly. That sort of stuff. Carry on.
Yeah. So we've met Anne Senpai. That's nice.
No. Alan Senpai, not Anne Senpai.
No.
But...
Anne's.
Anne's senpai. Yeah. Yes, Anne's senpai. Yeah. So do you think we'll be able to make a good impression on her and she'll notice us?
Yes. And also to answer Jova, if I'm sure Marilla would disagree, but if Anne makes a mistake baking a cake, it's fine. She's still a child. The fairies were grown women. They have no excuse.
Well, here's the thing, Shira. I can tell you, Marilla thinks it's fine that she makes a mistake as well. So she doesn't get angry at her either. So, if it helps you, no, Marilla's past that phase at this point, Shira. So.
No, that's it.
All right, Dibs.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, again, it was one of those more low-key episodes, and that's saying something considering this series is pretty low-key. But it was a good one at least, so there's that.
Sure. Joe, if Carol closes off, please.
It was a good episode. I sort of get where the girls are coming from. Yeah, it's weird, but I get it, sort of thing. Again, it is interesting that we're getting developments all around here. I guess my only quirk is that it's a shame that the teacher wasn't ousted from his role because that would have felt so much more karmic. But whatever, the bum's out.
He resigned in disgrace.
Sure.
That honestly, he pretty much just leaves because he's still simping for Prissy. Jesus, the more I see this, the more they might actually legit be banging.
Which would be sick.
19th century, you'd be surprised what you can
No, it would be sick in any era.
We agree with you, Dibs. It's just that, unfortunately, mankind was much more primitive in the 19th century than we are now.
Don't study about philosopher groups in ancient Greece. You will have a field day.
Oh boy!
Remember, Dibs, all these values that we have as people nowadays, they didn't come out of nowhere. They weren't always here. We had to actually evolve as a society and attain them.
You see, Dweebs, we quite literally live in a society about that.
But there was also the bit in the teacher's speech where he was like, I only hit you because I love you. All
right, one thing I'd like to close off and to add to what Teo was saying is that, actually, Teo, that might be also what Takahata thought, because in the book, it's exactly the same, except for Marilla's laughter. The Marilla's laughter was added in by Takahata. I get the feeling Takahata looked at this paragraph and he thought it was a bit weird too. So he thought Marilla. Marilla also says that doesn't make any sense. Then what the hell are you talking about? So Marilla still is a bit baffled by what Anne is saying in the book. It's just that she doesn't do the laughing. My guess is Takahata thought, okay, I'm gonna add her really laughing just to highlight how silly this kind of comes across. You know.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So I can definitely understand. So Takahata probably thought the same thing as you too. So
okay.
All right. Tune in next time, everybody, for episode 22, which is called "The Wrong Ingredient." There you go. There's your. There's your.
Oh boy, Chemical X is about to play.
Oh God.
See ya.
See ya, everyone. See ya, everybody.